this other story that we are following from Karnataka. This is a CNN News 18 impact. There has been a major relief that has been announced for the farmers whose lands have been put on notice. These are the 41 properties that in fact was about to be taken over by the Waqf board in the state. Now the name of the Waqf board has been removed from the land records in the Indi Taluk of Vijayapura. The Waqf board name has been removed from column 11 of the RTC copy. Land records have been changed to remove that name, and farmer Yamanappa Malakappa Kenagal land record also has been changed, where that name of Waqf board has been removed. CNN News 18, remember, had exposed how the Indi Tehsildar arbitrarily inserted the Waqf board's name without any notices that were given to the farmers there in the Indi Taluk in Vijayapura district. And after a huge uproar, the revenue officials in fact removed the name of the Waqf board from the land records now. This is a CNN News 18 impact. Remember, this is the first time that you'd seen this story here. My colleague Harish Upadhyay was following the story from the very onset. And similar changes, we are told, are going to be done in all the 41 properties of the Indi Taluk, where RTC underwent a mutation. Now remember, there were heavy allegations against the Waqf board in the state of Karnataka. BJP had leveled these allegations against the Siddaramaiah regime, where they had cried appeasement politics, and they had said that as per the recent mutation, the Waqf board's name in the properties of the farmers that belonged to the farmers for so long had been inserted only very, very recently. After these revelations had come to fore through this investigation that was done by CNN News 18, there was a backtracking that had come about from the Karnataka government. They in fact laid the blame on the Tehsildar, claiming that he had arbitrarily just put in the Waqf board's name in those land records and try to make him into the fall guy. But there were clear questions that were raised against Zamir Ahmad Khan for his involvement. There was the Waqf Adalat meetings that were put out in the public domain. In fact, his own account had put out what he had said at the Waqf Adalat, giving them a 45 days notice to look into all of these land cases. And after that ultimatum, a review really was done, and arbitrarily Waqf board's names were inserted, especially on the land records of these 41 properties. Now, after the huge uproar, the name has been taken off. That's the CNN News 18 impact that we are talking about. My colleague Harish Upadhyay, who has been on the top of this story, is with us on the broadcast. Harish, like we are mentioning, a huge CNN News 18 impact. Now the Waqf board name is off the records.
Absolutely. A huge relief for farmers in Vijayapura district. Remember, they've been protesting. They were anxious ever since these changes were made in the RTC copies and their land records. Finally, the district administration, in a way, under pressure, finally removing the Waqf board name from the RTC copy. The one that we've accessed right now is from Teniali village in Indi Taluk. Remember, 41 properties where RTCs were changed overnight without any notice. And finally, we have seen the district administration reverting to the old, almost status quo of sorts, where the Waqf board name wasn't present. They have removed the Waqf board name from column number 11 of all these RTC copies. Now, what will happen is, if the Waqf once again wants to claim this land, they will have to go through the process. They'll have to go to the Tehsildar. Tehsildar will have to issue notice, and the farmers will have to submit their documents. Even the Waqf board will have to submit documents, and there will be a hearing. Essentially, the procedure that's there will have to be followed. These arbitrary changes have now been removed from the RTC. A huge victory for the farmers, at least for the time being.
Right, Harish, but explain to our viewers the process. Why is the Waqf claiming these lands A? And now that they have decided to go as per the SOPs, why wasn't it done earlier?
Well, ideally, when Waqf says that somebody has given this land, in a way, essentially donated this land to the Waqf board, then they will ask the revenue officials to change the ownership of that land. And it begins with a letter to the Tehsildar, and then a notice to the person who's in possession of that land. But that process wasn't followed. The allegation is that because there was immense pressure from Zamir Ahmad Khan, who was holding a meeting, in fact, the Waqf Adalat on the 7th of October in Vijayapura, and he was giving a deadline to these officials to finish the entire process quickly. And probably the Indi Tehsildar went overboard and did not even follow the procedure under this pressure. That's the allegation. Nonetheless, the government was left explaining a lot, and it was something that they couldn't defend. And right from the revenue minister to the district in charge minister and even the CM yesterday had to concede that there were procedural lapses and they're withdrawing that decision. And finally, we have seen very quickly the revenue records getting changed now, the Waqf board name being deleted from the revenue records of all these properties.
So, Harish, what happens from here on? If at all the Waqf board goes further, goes about claiming these lands that we are talking about, and especially these 41 properties from the Indi Taluk in Vijayapura, is there going to be ample amount of information, probably some kind of evidence that they have that this land has already been waqfed? Because what is being claimed by the farmers who've been, in fact, cultivating these lands for so many years is otherwise.
Absolutely. Now, if the Waqf board wants to move and claim that this is a land that has been donated to them, then they will have to submit those documents, and there will have to be a hearing that will take place before the Tehsildar, and the farmers too can say, like for example in this case of survey number 110 from Teniali village in Indi Taluk, the farmer has shown us RTC copies going back at least 40-50 years. And he will claim that this is a property that his family has inherited. It's an ancestral property. And he's saying that there is no Muslim institution in the near vicinity that can claim that it's their land. And right now, he will submit those documents if the Waqf claims it, one. Second, you will also have to look at the stance that the state government has taken. The chief minister yesterday is on record saying we will not evict any farmer, and even an inch of their land won't be taken away, which means the state is not very keen on taking these lands. So a lot depends now on that
Harish, I'm really sorry to interrupt. Mr. S. Prakash of the Bharatiya Janata Party is with us on the broadcast. Mr. Prakash, now that there is a backtracking that has happened from the Congress government in the state over this entire usurping of land allegedly by the Waqf board, how does the BJP see this? And while I let you answer that question, I'd also like to understand that similar mutations also happened under the BJP regime in Karnataka.
See, there is a difference between what happened in the BJP regime and the Congress regime. This regime is going to stand with them. We would not have stood with those people. It's an illegal act they have committed. Because of the by-election which is around the corner in Karnataka, they are trying to play very safe and saying that nobody will lose an inch of land. But the RTC mentions it's a Waqf land, and that the farmers cannot sell any of their property or pledge it to the bank for any loan if they wish to take it. And no clarification on that. It is a game the Congress party is playing. It is not only in Vijayapura district. Now several instances of Waqf property encroachment is reported from Dharwad, Yadgiri and Mysore, Hunsur, and all these places the complaints are pouring in. The government is now indifferent to those grievances. Once and for all, they should settle this. Otherwise, the farmers will be in distress. This government, as our Prime Minister said, if they come to power, they will snatch your property, and it is being proved now.
Okay, but you have avoided the question that I asked you earlier, Mr. Prakash. There were similar mutations that had happened during the Bharatiya Janata Party regime, and again, the kind of responses that are coming in from the people who were then responsible for allowing these mutations are also going back to the same argument that the Congress is making or claiming now, that it's the Tehsildar who had probably done this error, and that is why he needs to be answerable.
Whichever the regime it has been done, it is wrong. Okay. I am not defending that. The Tehsildar, whoever has done it, must be punished.
Okay. So, Mr. Prakash,
whether during the BJP regime or the Congress regime, the farmer's interest is paramount, not my political interest.
All right. All right. Point taken, Mr. Prakash. Now, after, the backtracking has happened, after the Waqf board's name has been taken away, taken down from the land records, the Waqf will try and claim, and this is a conjecture that is being made on this massive story that we are following from Karnataka, following the due process. If at all the claims are being made by the Waqf board that these pieces of properties had been waqf to the board in the past, how can the farmers in that case be defending their piece of land?
That is what I have been saying. It is not, the issue has not been resolved just by the statement of the Chief Minister, unless it is established that the land belongs to the farmers, not the Waqf. Even in Bangalore, Chamrajpet Idgah Maidan ground, they laid the claim that it is a Waqf property. Subsequently, the BBMP were able to extract the document proving that the land belongs to the BBM corporation. Then